Awesome. Maureen, thank you for jumping on the call. I'm excited to share your story since joining us. So, first thing I want to ask you is just like, what was your situation like before joining Course? And yeah, just tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, for sure. Just a little background on me. I currently work in tech. I joined school, this new platform. Like, what is this? Because we wanted a better way to manage our community. And so when I came across school, at first I was like, I don't know what's happening here. But, I hung around. And when I did, I started going into the different communities. And of course was the one that really kind of caught my attention. It was just the amount of people that were there, and I'm like, what is happening here? I like whatever it is. And so I attended a few calls and I was hooked. I was hooked because I'm like, they were just like you, Max, the team, you guys were not like stingy about information. You were given action-packed things that was just like, oh, okay, I want to be part of whatever's happening here. So, as someone who's new to school, I'm of the mindset like if you're new to something, don't be afraid to learn from those who are already there,
Hmm.
right? And don't be afraid to invest in yourself to learn from those who are already there. I think oftentimes we feel like we take the cheap or the free route because for whatever reason we're afraid. But I knew when I got on a call, I think I remember doing our one-on-one, and I was like, all right, let's go. He's gonna sell me something. And it wasn't that, right? What it was just us talking, and we got right into a strategy. Like, tell me what you do. And then you went in and like, all right, do this, do that. I came out, I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. And that's when I knew I was just gonna join the course community, because it was just like, yeah, you guys weren't holding back information, and I appreciated that. For me, what it was is if I'm getting this level of information in the free community, like I wonder what the paid community is like, what's the level of exchange in there?
Yeah,
That's what I wanted to get in on.
cool.
And the
Awesome.
value is very much there.
Yeah. And you touched on it a little bit, but go into a little bit more detail. Like what really made you decide to join and like what were kind of like your expectations coming in?
Yeah, it was the evidence. I think that was the biggest thing for me. It wasn't someone or a group of people telling me that they were going to help me do this. It was them actually doing it, showing me that they were doing it, and then seeing the results from it. I walked away from each call with something that I was going to implement in the very next day. And so that's what really did it. Even going down to the training itself. And I was just like, oh, wow, this feels like again, I took away so much from being in a free community that I just wanted to continue leveling up. And that's why I joined the paid course community.
Awesome. That's really cool to hear. And like enough about us. Like I also want to hear about like you. Like you've done some really cool things in like the past 3 to 4 months. So like
Yeah.
what just this journey in general of you like jumping onto school and I mean also being a part of our community, but like mostly you, like what experiences have you gotten? What wins have you gotten? Like what has tell us about you because you have some really cool stuff to share.
Yeah, I think, one thing that I did not kind of call out earlier and just being a part of the community is just like um the camaraderie, like people wanting to help, people wanting to, be part of your story, whether that's directly or indirectly. So just coming into the community, I've been able to meet like great minds such as Haru, Patrice, and so forth. And I'm just like, all those folks have been really instrumental in the things that I've went on to achieve in a short amount of time that I have, right? Like I just immediately felt like anyone that was in the course community, that was coming out of the course community that I established a relationship with, really had a hand in everything that I've done in the last few months. That's like, forget the trainings, forget, you know, yeah, the action-packed kind of like insight. It was those relationships that really made a difference. Whether it was like encouragement, whether it was strategies that came out of them, um, I, that is like something that I just feel like there's no amount of money that you can't put a price to that. That
Yeah.
is like the thing I want to say. But yeah, so since being a part of the community and what I've been able to do in the last few months, in school, I think I set an aggressive goal for myself, right? Towards the end of 2024, I said I want to win the school games. And I literally said that a week into the games actually starting.
You
So
said that on our call as well. I remember that. You said like I'm
I
coming here to like do something. Like I'm not just coming just to join. Like I'm gonna
For
get
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the mindset too. You kind of like you want to know, like you need to know that this is something that you want to do. Like first, you got to believe in that. When you believe in that, then you go after like the resources and the strategies that will help you get there. But first, I think it starts with you saying and believing that you can do it. But I said, yes, I want to do something big. I want to do something. I'm not here to play around.
Yeah.
But when it came to the school games, for anyone who's not familiar with it, it's a competition that used to take place on a monthly cadence, and whoever had the highest MRR would the top 10 would win, the competition and then head over to Las Vegas or the school headquarters to meet with Sam and Alex. So that was pretty cool, right? In itself, that was inspiring. But I wanted to win that because I wanted to prove something to myself that I can actually build something that's sustainable. And so I wanted to prove that to myself. And so what ended up happening is a week into the school games, I said, I want to compete this month. I reached out to Patrice, who I met in the course community, because I seen how active she was. And she looked at me like I was crazy. She was like, wait, for the coming months? I'm like, no, this month. And she's like, all right, let me get back to you. And the next day she's like, you know what, let's do it. And it was such a, let's say it was a story for us, but how hard, how many nights we went without sleeping, but we achieved that. Like we won the school games for December. And what came after was just like I couldn't even write it. And so I think again, it went back to the community, into the course community. And I remembered along the way, like you reaching out and saying, Maureen, you can do it. Like even when I was just like tired, I'm like, this is madness. You reached out, you're like, let's get it done. You can do it. And I was just like, oh snap, Dylan, what's up? And then giving me strategies along the way. I think where else would you get that? Like, so for me, I just want to say, like, if I really appreciate number one, just you kind of supporting along the way, and paying attention. I feel like that's one of the perks that you get from the community, even if you're not actively talking to the course team every single day. Like, you guys care. You're paying attention to how your folks are doing. And I believe maybe four, five, six, maybe even seven folks landed for December for top 10 winners. So I was just like, that's impressive. So
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say after that, but I
Yeah.
just appreciate you guys, the support, the information, just being able to say what are your goals and then pushing us to get to those goals. So
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you've done amazing things. And just so people listening, like how much money did you make in 1 month in December when you won the
oh
school?
man, 24K in
Yeah.
one month. And
How's
the
that
funny
feel?
It feels amazing. It did come with a lot of work,
Yeah.
right? It Because everything was accelerated. I'm not gonna lie. And that was because I took it upon myself to say, I want to do something that's people plan months in advance for in in 1 month. So that was on me, right? But it was just incredible to see through the strategies that I was picking up from the course community, and even just strategies that were coming in from Patrice, that's again in the course community. It was just incredible to just see that, do it. And yeah, it feels great. The money, who's gonna like be mad at that? Not
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
It, yeah, yeah.
Awesome. That's cool. It's really cool to see how far you've come. And like I'm really happy that you were joined the community and happy to see the results that you got. So that's cool. And just a final question too, like what would you say to someone that's like on the fence about joining course? Like what would you tell them?
Yeah. If you're on the fence about joining course, then you're not serious about what you're trying to do. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Like, if you are serious about the goals, the business goals that you have, or maybe it's even personal because you're going to get that. But if you're serious about reaching those goals, then you need to be a part of the community. Like, I can't imagine that someone would think being an entrepreneur is it's a sport that they play by themselves. It's not. You're going to make lifetime friends. You're going to get the information you need. You're going to get the push you need. You're going to get access to resources that's going to like have make a monumental difference in your business. So if you're on the fence, stop thinking about it. I mean, Dylan, look, I knew I was going to join a community, the premium community. And I also knew after our first call that I was going annual. Like, I'm like, there's no reason for me to go monthly. I'm gonna be here, right? Like, I'm gonna be here. I want to stay here because the folks that are winning are in the course community. So why wouldn't I be here? Because that's what I set out to do. So
Nice. That's awesome. I'm super excited to saw what you have done in 2024, and I'm even more excited to see what you can do for the rest of the year. So let's do it. I'm excited to see what we can do, but
it will be fun. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure. And I'm super excited about the rebrand. It's awesome. And looking forward to seeing what you guys do as well and continue to do so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks for the call, Maureen. I appreciate it.